7 Greatest Data and Geordi Teammates in Star Trek, TNG, Movies, and Picard LT. Commander Data Brent Spiner and LT Commander Geordi LaForge LeVar Burton were best friends on Star Trek, The Next Generation, and they regularly teamed up to solve problems on the USS Enterprise D. As a unique and incredibly advanced android, Data saved the Enterprise D many times over, and his friendship with Geordi never failed to bring out his humanity. Geordi served as the chief engineer on the Enterprise, and he never treated Data as less than human. Between the two of them, Data and Geordi could solve almost any engineering-related problems that arose on the Enterprise. Data and Geordi were friends from the beginning of Star Trek, The Next Generation, and they quickly became one of the show's best pairings. Because of his visor, Geordi literally saw Data differently than everyone else, and he proved invaluable in the android's journey to discover his humanity. Geordi not only helped repair Data's mechanical elements when they needed maintenance, but he also spent much of his free time with the android. TNG's science bros regularly went on holodeck adventures and accompanied one another on away missions. As the USS Enterprise D is waiting to rendezvous with the USS Victory, Geordi invites Data for a Sherlock Holmes-inspired adventure on the holodeck. However, Data has memorized every Holmes story, so he already knows the solution to every mystery the holodeck creates. In an attempt to stump his android friend, Geordi asks the computer to create an enemy capable of defeating Data. To comply with this command, the computer makes the holodeck character Professor James Moriarty, Daniel Davis, self-aware, which causes understandable alarm among the Enterprise crew. At its heart, Star Trek The Next Generation's elementary Dear Data is a story about Geordi and Data's friendship. Geordi creates the holodeck program for Data and then works to adapt it to give the android a true Sherlock Holmes experience without thinking of the potential consequences. Before the situation turns serious, Data and Geordi are clearly having fun pretending to be Holmes and Watson, and it's nice to see a glimpse of how they spend their downtime. As Data embraces his Holmes persona, he gets to experience what it's like to be human, if only for a little while. Star Trek The Next Generation's The Price may focus on Counselor Deanna Troi, Marina Sirtis, but the episode also has some good Data and Geordi moments. After a supposedly stable wormhole to the Delta Quadrant is discovered, the Enterprise hosts several dignitaries as they negotiate for rights to the wormhole. Before the Federation commits to a contract for control of the wormhole, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, sends Data and LaForge to investigate in a shuttlecraft. Upon entering the wormhole, Data and Geordi find themselves in the Delta Quadrant and discover that the other side of the wormhole is unstable. As they prepare to enter the wormhole, Geordi remarks that he hopes everything works out as he does not want to spend the rest of his life trapped on the other side. Data responds, "There is a bright side, Geordi. You will have me to talk to." While Geordi does not look overjoyed by this prospect either, the exchange is a nice reminder of the friendship the two share. Data and Geordi work together well, making a quick and accurate assessment of the wormhole and trying to warn the Ferengi, who are also investigating. In the Star Trek universe, the friendship between Lieutenant Commander Data and Lieutenant Geordi LaForge is one of the most memorable and enduring relationships across Star Trek The Next Generation, TNG, the subsequent films, and Star Trek Picard. Their dynamic as colleagues, friends, and problem solvers often led to some of the most compelling and heartwarming moments in the franchise. Together, they solved countless crises, enhanced each other's emotional and intellectual growth, and exemplified the powerful bond of friendship. Let's revisit 7 of their greatest teams across TNG, the movies, and Picard. 1. The Offspring, TNG Season 3. In one of the most emotional episodes of TNG, Data creates Lau, an android daughter. While Data's goal is to further explore his own humanity through parenthood, he also needs technical support, and that's where Geordi steps in. Their collaboration is more than just a technical exercise. Geordi helps Data understand the complexities and responsibilities of creating new life. When Lau begins to experience malfunctions, Geordi is there with Data as they work together to save her. Ultimately, Lau cannot be saved, but the episode highlights how Geordi and Data support each other not only in technical terms, but emotionally as well. This team-up shows the heart of their friendship. 2. The next phase, TNG Season 5. In this episode, Geordi and Ensign Ro become phased, making them invisible and intangible to the rest of the crew. While most of the episode centers on Geordi's ability to deal with his new reality, the bond between Data and Geordi comes into play when Data, believing Geordi is dead, investigates his friend's apparent death. Despite not being able to see or interact with Geordi, Data uses his unique understanding of his friend's habits and personality to uncover clues and ultimately save him. The episode showcases Data's loyalty and Geordi's resourcefulness, two qualities that have strengthened their friendship. 3. The Ensigns of Command, TNG Season 3. Data's ability to work alone as a super-intelligent android often sets him apart from the crew, but in this episode, Geordi's technical expertise comes in handy when the two must save a human colony. Data is tasked with negotiating with a stubborn group of colonists, and while he faces diplomatic challenges, Geordi handles the technical side, figuring out how to alter the power systems of the colony. This episode highlights the way their friendship blends both their strengths, Data's logic and diplomacy, and Geordi's engineering genius, to create a formidable team that can solve problems that are as human as they are mechanical. 4. The Nth Degree, TNG Season 4. When LT. Barclay's intelligence is enhanced by an alien probe, he begins to make rapid and extreme changes to the Enterprise, to the concern of the crew. Data and Geordi team up to investigate the new threat and try to bring Barclay back to his normal self. Their problem-solving skills shine in this episode as they work together to outthink the hyper-intelligent Barclay. Data's analytical mind and Geordi's quick engineering prowess are perfectly synchronized as they race against time to prevent Barclay from taking the ship into unknown danger. Their collaboration emphasizes how they complement each other in critical moments. 5. Star Trek First Contact, 1996. In Star Trek First Contact, Data and Geordi face one of their greatest challenges yet, the Borg. In this film, Data becomes a key figure in the battle against the Borg Queen, who attempts to manipulate his emotions. Meanwhile, Geordi works on the technical side of the fight, ensuring that the Enterprise's systems are protected. The high stakes of this confrontation are amplified by the emotional pressure Data feels as he wrestles with newfound desires and temptations. Though they are separated for much of the movie, their individual efforts form two halves of the same struggle, culminating in a victory over one of the Enterprise's deadliest foes. 6. Descent, TNG Season 6. This two-part episode explores Data's exploration of emotions after encountering his evil brother, Lore, who leads a rogue group of Borg. Geordi is integral to this storyline, both in helping Data understand the emotional changes he is experiencing and in physically aiding him as they fight to stop Lore. Their bond is tested when Data becomes conflicted about his own identity, particularly after experiencing emotions like anger for the first time. Geordi's steadfast loyalty and belief in Data's inherent goodness become crucial in grounding Data and pulling him back from Lore's influence. Their teamwork is vital to stopping the rogue Borg, and the episode highlights the depths of their friendship. 7. Star Trek Picard Season 3. In Star Trek Picard's third season, Geordi and Data's friendship finds new life in an unexpected way. Data's consciousness is resurrected and integrated into a new android body, and when they meet again, it's a touching reunion. Their team-up in Picard becomes one of reflection and legacy, as they reunite not just to solve problems, but to reconnect after years apart. Geordi's emotional connection to Data, who he thought was gone forever, brings a layer of nostalgia and fulfillment